Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take on Beijing bumbling Joe Biden. If you haven't seen it, check out my Joe Biden sketch. I told you he'd be coming back. I really wanted to retire that character, but looks like I got another 4 years or so of doing them. Got plenty of ice cream, so at least I'll get some use out of those sunglasses before we all go broke. Oh, but don't worry. According to ABC News, early indications show honeymoon period for Biden administration. I mean, things are going so well. In less than a week, if you watch my sketch, he's destroyed women's sports and given the electricity grid to China. Good job, old man. Good job. I mean, geez, I like many Americans, I sat here wondering, like, geez, what would it be like if we don't give our electricity to the Chinese? I don't believe this poll for a second. ABC News or whomever. I wouldn't trust anything ABC News says. You're watching ABC News. That's probably why you voted for Biden. Instagram is forcing users to follow Biden White House account so that it's not so pathetic even when users repeatedly unfollow the page. See, that's what happens when you're the most popular president in U.S. history. When you have one of the most secure elections ever, your Instagram account has to force people to stay on because you're so popular, people don't want to watch you. That's how popular you are. See, it's like a horseshoe. That's how popular Joe Biden is. They have to force people to subscribe to the White House feed. Oh, and Taiwan reports large incursion by Chinese warplanes for a second day. I'm sure that has nothing to do with the fact that Joe Biden is the most popular president in history and handed our electrical grid to the Chinese. I'm sure there's nothing about that. I'm sure it's nothing to do with the laptop stuff that Hunter had and getting 10% for the big guy. I'm sure this is just a coincidence. I'm sure they it's just a coincidence. And most Americans must support this, right? I mean, he's the most popular president in U.S. history. Well, here's something that's strange. Buyer's remorse. Ute Indian tribe lashes out at Biden admin for restricting federal agency development? Direct attack on our economy and sovereignty? Well, I don't understand. He's the most popular president ever. Why don't you people like him? Why did you people vote for him? But good news is coming. ICE agents ordered to free all illegal aliens in custody. Release them all, according to Breitbart. Now, there's a bit of an overstatement. When you get into the article, what they say is they've first frozen any deportations and any ICE raids, that kind of thing. That's all been frozen and halted. But the memo tells... shut up, Joe. The memo tells agents that all cases of detainee and ICE custody are now to be considered, quote, no significant likelihood of removal for the foreseeable future, suggesting all detainees need to be released. Release them all immediately, the ICE official wrote in a staff memo. Typically, the detainees do not have sponsors in the United States. Agents can hold an individual in their custody. The memo, though, states that that is no longer the case, and even detainees without sponsors must be released. That would be about 14,000 detainees, 71.5% of whom are convicted criminals and have pending criminal charges. Well, I'm sure the illegal aliens will show up for their court cases. I mean, many of them don't speak English, understand the court system, or have ties here. So why wouldn't they show up to be punished for whatever they did? Oh, well, I mean, this is what you voted for, America, right? I mean, you wanted convicted criminals from other countries to come here and roam freely and trust them because they're convicted criminals. Well, what's not to trust? Yeah. That's how it's going. That's how it's going. It's funny you don't hear from the Hollywood celebrities who are supporting Biden now. I mean, where are they? Why aren't they on Twitter touting how wonderful this is? So weird. Joe and Jill Biden were left awkwardly standing out in the cold outside the Washington White House on Inauguration Day when doors to their new residence didn't open because the chief usher had been fired 5 hours earlier. You see how Biden's brain works? It just interlocks and everything comes together. Because this is the guy who runs the country. So of course this happened. It was all part of his plan to be locked out of his own home. Why wouldn't he be? I mean, you see how smart that is, right? You see how coordinated this all is. It all comes together. Just like the inauguration with the tens of people who showed up. And celebrities. Tom Hanks, Lady Gaga. Oh, these guys must love this. I mean, 5 hours? Do you expect him to remember what happened 5 hours ago? Did you see my comedy sketch? Bernie Sanders predicts Dems could be wiped out in 2022 midterm election. Well, not if you still have the most secure elections in history. But you should be. You should be. And I mean wiped out politically, of course. You should lose all your seats. Not just one, not just some, all of them. Never vote for a Democrat. Ever again. You'd be a fool to do so. You are a fool if you voted for Biden. You're just a fool. There's no other way to say it now. Have you not seen enough evidence in 4 or 5 days that he's been in office? Democrats attempt to purge civil servant from job over prior work for Noon's Trump administration. Well, this doesn't surprise me. They all do that. But it's going to get worse. You know, if you thought Biden was above this, here you go. Even libertarians. John Brennan issues list of ideologues on Biden intel community should go after. So if you're wondering why I don't just delete all my political videos and, you know, just go my merry way and go back to doing screenwriting, there's no point. I'm on the list too. I'm probably not on the list for being a Trump supporter. I mean, I voted for the guy, but I didn't wear a MAGA hat or, you know, I only did so much. But there's no erasing that I'm a libertarian. So these guys want to come after us. So get on the list now or wait until later when they find a reason to put you on the list. And they'll find one. They'll find one for your own security. And, you know, don't be alarmed that a guy like John Brennan, who lied to Congress and is generally, in my view, considered a scumbag, that he keeps going on TV and trying to influence policy. I mean, don't be worried. I mean, what could possibly happen when a guy like him sort of kind of not in charge, but sort of is? Thousands of National Guard troops to remain in D.C. through March. I wonder where everybody's going to park. Slow start. Biden's opening approval below Trump and Obama, just 48%. Wait a minute. ABC News told me it was 69. Oh, this is the Washington Examiner versus ABC News. I wonder which one you trust. I wonder which news source you'll be looking at from here on in. Will you be looking at ABC News that says Biden's administration is off to a honeymoon period? Or this, that where his approval is lower than Trump's coming into office? Trump sailed out with 51%. Oh, but he lost the election. Biden's the most popular president ever, and he's lower than Trump and Obama coming in. And this will be the highest point of his administration, you know, until he gins up a war. And for that, he's going to need, well, mass casualties to get the approval. Even then, might be tough to get his ratings up. You got to wonder what goes through the brains of Jill and Joe Biden right now. You got to wonder. Are they that delusional? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. And finally, speaking of buyer's remorse, Jack Posobiec is reporting on Twitter, wall, pipelines, gas, coal, etc. All these work sites are closing on a daily basis thanks to the executive orders of Joe Biden. They're being told to call back in a few weeks. Some calls aren't even answered, says White House official. And Jack also says, that was a quote from a White House official, but Jack also says unions finding out Biden's campaign them. So, union guys, what do you think of Biden now? Did you vote for him? You happy that he won't be saying any more mean tweets? Oh no, no more mean tweets from the Orange Man. Feel good about yourself? That you voted for a guy because, I don't know, he's more presidential, or because you were told to hate Trump, so you did, and now you're getting screwed. Is there anybody left who hasn't been screwed by Biden in this first week? Jones left. Hasn't screwed pets yet. Hasn't passed a pet tax yet. Although Joan's probably very upset. You very upset, Joan? Probably. You know, not petting. Probably a pet tax coming soon. Yeah. Ted Cruz on the Keystone Pipeline to Pete Buttigieg. With the stroke of a pen, President Biden has told these 11,000 workers, those union workers, your jobs are gone. Mr. Buttigieg, what do you say to the workers whose jobs has just been eliminated by the president? He has nothing to say. Insulting and disappointing. Unions show signs of voter remorse after Biden reality sinks in. Yeah. If you voted for Biden and you're in a union, you're living in the past. This was unthinkable in the 80s. For the Democrats to vote against the unions? Unthinkable. Unthinkable. Because they were for the working man, supposedly. Not really, kind of. That was their shtick. Now who are they for? Apparently for China. Apparently for big corporations, global corporations, who are perfectly fine with you going broke. You losing your business, you losing your house. Oh, but don't worry, you'll get a check, maybe, kind of, at some point. And you'll be able to hang on and buy some of those cheap Chinese products that will be flooding back into the U.S. Don't expect to be able to buy any energy, though, because, you know, once the Chinese get a hold of that, they'll strangle us on energy. But hey, you know, at least you don't have to hear mean tweets from Donald Trump anymore. At least you won't have to hear about the news reporting how mean the president is. Where they said mean things about a group of people. Oh, wait, he didn't really say that. Well, we thought he did. We felt like he did. They're so mean. You lose your job. And what does the government say? Hey, get another job. Oh, there's not going to be any more jobs. What did the government say, or what did Twitter say when all the journalists lost their jobs? And the Learn the Code meme went around. Oh, they had to squash that. That wasn't nice. To journalists. Oh, but to you, who cares? Do you understand who your friend is now? It's not Joe Biden. Never was. The globalists don't care about you. And he's a globalist. Well, he's trying to be. He's small time. Biden, he doesn't even know how to take a bribe. You know, he goes from 300,000 to 16 million. I mean, Jesus, man. At least if you're going to be president, take a 100 million. Take a real bribe. Oh, but that's coming in the future, I'm sure. You know, Hunter's going to be very busy. Hopefully he'll upgrade himself from crack to cocaine. I mean, he's really slumming it smoking the crack, but yeah, so that's how it's going. That's how it's going. If you want to get cheered up, watch my comedy sketch in the previous video. I don't have any good news. Sorry. Biden's giving away the store, and he's smashing things as fast as he can. He's also called like 100-day lid already. So, I think 100 days. He's definitely called a lid. If you know what that means, that was stuff he did on the campaign trail. He's not going to answer questions. You know, because he's the most popular president in U.S. history.